Hey up me ducks, how we doing? I hope everybody's having a great Sunday. Oh, it's so nice to be here. It's been a hectic few days. Just want to do the hellos and everything first, because there's already 44 people here and I didn't know how it would go with it being a Sunday. I don't normally go live on a Sunday. This is just Pepsi Max Cherry. It's not vodka and Coke. Ugh, hate vodka. Or anything like that. I wish. Kat, hello. A surprise chat. I better grab a cuppa. Nice to see you. And we've got Shelby, the lovely Joanne. Hello. I am feeling much better. even though even the last 24 hours has been a nightmare, which I'll come on to. Lovely Caroline, the Smileland, hello, nice to see you. Washing up time today, so hopefully we can keep you company while you're doing your washing. And we have Pamela, nice to see you. Glad you're better, enjoyed your videos. Yeah, I was day 3 of being kind of within the same 4 walls, and I was like, I need to do something. The first day was in bed, 24 hours, with the exception of that 1 hour. But yeah, I just needed to do something, so I did a few videos. Excuse me, that was gassy. And we have Isabel, hello, the lovely Nancy's here, hello Nancy. And we have Celia, hello Celia. Frank, hi Frank. Karen, hello Karen. Elspeth, nice to see you too, lovely. And Tycon, hello Tycon. Dan, hello Dan, how are you doing? That always sounds like Joey Tribbiani, how are you doing? Marsha, hello Marsha. Fran, just watching your Glastonbury vlog as I'm planning to go for the first time in 2 weeks. Have an amazing time. Love Glastonbury, my spiritual home, so have a lovely time. We have Stephanie, hello lovely. Tezcatli, is that how you say your name? From Mexican Barja, welcome, nice to see you. Butterfly, hello Butterfly, how are you doing? Karen, the lovely Navneet's here. Hi Navneet, nice to see you. And Inlay, hello Inlay, lovely to see you. How are you doing? We've got Yasmin. Hello Yasmin. Pegasus Oracle, nice to see you. Mo, popped on after getting up to go to the bathroom. It's 3 a.m. on a Monday morning. Oh my goodness. Well, I hope you go back to sleep. Hope this isn't the start of your week. If it's 3 a.m. for me tomorrow, that's 2.5 hours before my alarm goes off before I'm back to work. My vacation holiday is over. The Rockin' Witch, hello. Orla, Stars, so many lovely people here. Debbie, hello Debbie. Chopstick, hello. I don't know if I've seen you before, Chopstick Tarot, but welcome. Taron Witchery, Star, Patrice, hello Patrice. We've got Lisa and Basedi, how are you doing? And we have Ashley, happy to be able to make a live. Tortoiseshell Moon, Be Charmed Divination. We're nearly at the end. Layla and Lowen, hello Lowen. Kirsten, hello Kirsten. And now Sandra's here. I know you've been out and it's nice you've got back, so I'm only doing the introductions, you've not missed anything. And yeah, so lovely to see everybody. So let me put the chat on here as well so I can see it as we chat. So yeah, it's been a few days. It really has. So I took ill on Thursday, as I said in my video, Thursday morning. I got up at 5 a.m, as I usually do. I get ready to go and walk the dogs, and I just didn't feel right. You know, you just kind of wake up, you think, something's just not right. I don't feel 100%. I'd got a few cramps in my tummy. My head was a bit fuzzy. But I went anyway. And I drove for it's about a half an hour drive to my friend's, and got in his car and I'm like, I don't feel 100%. Anyway, the route that we do it's a big route. Although we've got it down to about 45 minutes now. It used to take us about an hour. And you're off the road, you know, and there's no way a vehicle can get to you or anything like that. And I got halfway around and I just stopped. It was one of those where I'm like, and I was making no sense. I was ghastly white and he was very concerned. And he said I was saying things like, I can't go no further than the further we're going. And he was like, you what? And I was like, I can't go no further other than the further that we're going. And in my mind, I was making sense. And then I just thought, I'm going to pass out. Luckily, I didn't. I got up against a fence. There was a little fence, and I was gasping for breath. And I thought, I'm going to be sick or the other. And he was like, there's nothing we can do. We're in the middle of nowhere. We're just going to have to try and get back. So I don't know how he did it. I don't know how I had the strength to put one leg in front of the other. It just totally came on me. Sat at his for about an hour until I thought I was strong enough to drive home. That drive home was horrendous. And that was it. I was in bed pretty much for 24 hours. Friday wasn't much better, although I felt stronger. But I'm telling you this because it leads on to something that I think it could be. But Friday I felt a little bit, I felt better each day. But Friday I just had a bowl of soup and some toast, and then it all started again. The cramping pains, and just almost like back to the day before. And then Saturday was a lot better. I felt a lot better, and I was able to eat a meal yesterday, just the one, but a meal. But something similar happened to me a couple of weeks ago. Same kind of thing, sort of like my body was in shock or something. It was just horrific because, no, I won't, Sandra, I won't go out. And in hindsight, I should have just, but because I didn't want to ring at 5 o'clock in the morning and say, I'm not coming, I just thought, oh, I'll be all right. But I soon realised as we started off, I'm not going to be all right. But I was conscious of the fact that if I didn't get out of that field, I was stuck, So it just seemed to take an eternity getting back to the car. Anyway, so yesterday I went into the kitchen and I thought, there's a strange smell. And it reminded me of when I was a child, my parents had lino. I don't know, I can't even remember what that's short for over here. But it almost came to me then, and I don't know if you have it in the States or New Zealand or other places where people are here at the moment. When it was laid as a kid, there was this very strong chemical smell, and it reminded me of that. You have a smell sometimes, and do you know what? I'm just going to pause because I've got a smudge on my glasses, and my cleaning cloth is over there, and it's really annoying me. So just bear with me 1 second. I'm back. So yeah, this lino smell, I don't know if people are familiar with it, but when it's first kind of unrolled and laid down, it's got a very distinctive, a very distinctive smell. Almost like that's made in China smell, kind of. It's almost like a plasticky, strong chemical plasticky smell. And I just thought, what's that? Anyway, I didn't think anything more of it. But as I said, yesterday I only had one meal, and it was basically a salad. So, didn't take anything from the freezer or anything like that. And then smudges on my glasses, I can't function. I can't either. And then yesterday afternoon, I started with this really bad headache. And I thought, oh, now it's my head, when is this going to go? And this really, really, really bad headache. Anyway, last night, I went into the kitchen and the smell was stronger. And I thought, do you know what? I'm just going to make a cup of tea and see if I can get this headache. And I opened the fridge and the smell hit me. And then I put my hand in the fridge to get the milk and everything was warm. And I opened the freezer and everything had thawed. And I was like, oh no, the freezer's broken. The fridge freezer's gone. And then I heard this hissing, like a... And a few days ago, when my parents used to defrost the fridge freezers, they used to switch it off and they'd have like a tray and the water would drain into it. Mine doesn't have a little tap or anything like that. So when if my ice starts to build up, I get a really big knife that I've got and I hack at it and I take all the ice off. And what I'd done, I'd punctured the inside of the ice container. So I think it's been letting out some gas into the flat. Freon, yes. That's the research I've been doing. Freon, apparently. So I was like, oh shit. So I was like, I don't have a fridge freezer. What am I going to do? I've got no fridge freezer. I'm back to work on Monday. Yeah, one you don't have to defrost, Simon. Well, too late. Well, I'll get to that point of what I've got and everything. So I started to research, is there gas inside fridge freezers? You think I would know this sort of thing at my time in life, wouldn't you? And it turned out that there is, but it says it's very unlikely to do any damage unless there's huge quantities. It's not very well ventilated. And do you know what? Even though it's been really warm, I've kept my windows closed because I've had my fan on and I just feel it's nicer to sit in front of a fan. And sometimes, like now, when there's sirens and things like that, I don't want the city noise. So it's not been that well ventilated. So it's I've either had a really bad tummy bug or since I punctured the freezer box, that could be what's been making me feel sick and headachy and dizzy and weak and everything else. So yeah, so that's what I think it might be. So then I was panicking. So I thought, right, I've got to just unplug it. So I unplugged everything, took all the food out, bags and bags. Not long, a couple of days before, filled up. So I've lost about 60, 70 pounds worth of food. But hey, what's that when your health and stuff. Went to throw it down the chute outside. The chute is tied up. Please do not use. I'm like, oh, for God's sake. You get fined if you leave any, and I get it, I understand it, if you leave any rubbish or anything in any of the foyer areas, you get fined. And so the basement is shut off after 5 p.m. It's open from like 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. and then you can't go down there. So then I had to bring this bin liner full of off food back into the kitchen, shut the door, go to bed. And then I'm thinking, I'll take it down to the basement in the morning. But what I'm going to do for a fridge or a freezer, I've got no food now in the house. And I was really I was thinking, what a nightmare few days. Anyway, my friend came to the rescue. I've got a really good friend. And this friend has a couple of properties, well, 3 properties. And there's one that's not being used at all, and had got a new fridge in it, and he just said I could have it. He said I'd rather it go to use than just sit there. It doesn't have a freezer box, but I've got a freezer anyway that sits on top of the work surface, which is ideal for me. So it's actually the same size but more fridge capacity, because it hasn't got the freezer bit. So this morning we had to do the whole sort of bring the new fridge in, take the old fridge down to the basement, take all the food down to the basement, and then had to go out and do all the shopping and replace all the food. Simon, you've had a time. I'm sending you the vibe that it's uphill from here. Thank you. I think I need that. It has been just a few days. And it was only last week that my microwave blew up. Or the microwave, as what's her name calls it, Nigella Lawson. that blew up last Saturday and fused the whole flat. So I'm scraping around in the dark, get into the fuse box, and every time I put the fuse back, it blew. And I was thinking, oh, and it was because it was a dial microwave. So because the dial was still set, every time I turned the power on, it was tripping again. So last weekend, I had to take the microwave down to the basement and go and buy a new microwave. So I got one of those this time where it's push buttons and you program the time. So I'm like, I'm not doing well for kitchen appliances at the moment. I'm just hoping my washing machine doesn't go next. Caroline says, my daughter called me up with the same symptoms. She lives in London. She was very sick with stomach virus, horrible headache, and felt weak for days. Yeah, I mean, it could just be coincidence that that was happening around the same time. But because I'm off work, I've spent a lot of time at home this week. Last week I was away, as you know, at Becca's and things. So I was out and about a lot. This week I've had a lot of time at home. So it could be that I've been inhaling this gas and that's what's made me ill. I don't know. Or it could be that I've picked up a nasty tummy bug, which they have been doing the rounds, as a few people have said. We had 3 vehicles go bad last week. It must be astrological. Yeah. Maybe it's a combination of ferron poisoning and this tummy bug that's going around. I've been sick all week also. Tummy's still not right. And it really floors you, doesn't it? You know, it's been, even when I had COVID back in January, I don't think I felt that ill. Sandra, Sandra's in the chat, just got back from Glastonbury and we were chatting. And I said to her, this was on the Thursday, the day one, I said, I don't think I've ever felt this ill. And I even did a video in the afternoon because I was in bed and a package came and I thought, oh, that might cheer me up a bit. You know, I used to do that a lot when I was a kid. If I was poorly, I would say to myself, right, when the ice cream man comes, the ice cream van, the little van that used to come around selling not lollipops, ice pops and ice creams and things like that. And I used to say to myself, right, when the ice cream man comes, if I get a lemon popsicle, the lemon popsicle will make me better. And it's that whole sort of, what's that word? Placebo, isn't it? And so I'd lay there for ages and then I'd hear the ice cream van and I'd ask my mum, can I have a lemon popsicle? And she'd go and get me a lemon popsicle and I'd savour this lemon popsicle. And then after I do, I'd be like, right, I feel better now. So in my mind, I was thinking, that parcel, that would really cheer me up. So if I get up and open it, I can do a little video. But that 1 hour of sitting in this chair totally drained me. And then I went to bed at, I think it was about 2 o'clock. And I didn't wake up until the next day. I was in and out. I remember Chris going live Thursday night and sending a message saying, I'm here, but just listening because I'm in bed. And I was in and out all the way through Chris's live. So, I just feel like I've lost time. But what I am grateful for, not many people would probably say this, is that it happened while I was off work because, you know, I manage a team and when we go back tomorrow, it is the busiest time of the year. It's the new academic year. And so to have been ill then would have been a nightmare. So I'm actually glad that it happened during the end of my annual leave. It would have been awful if it had happened last week when I was away and all that sort of stuff. So timing was good. Hello, Kim. It's just not on wood re-washing machine. I know. Norovirus, Simon, is horrid. My brother had it. Yeah, and it could be norovirus. The only difference is I wasn't sick. I felt nauseous and I kept thinking I'm going to be sick. And when I was in that field, I said, I'm going to be sick. But I wasn't. I just got the sensation or waves of sensation that I was going to be sick. Scary if it was the gas. Yeah, it is. But that appliance is out of the flat. The fridge has left the building. I even went down earlier to take some more rubbish down. It's already gone. They've already been and took it. So I was like, that's gone. That beast is gone. in the Netherlands, people have had stomach bugs and they think it's a virus. Yeah, it probably is. I just don't know. I love the beginning of the academic year. Yeah, I've been really getting, even this afternoon, I've been thinking about, right, let's get things set up, ready. I can show you actually. I think I might have shown this last week. I bought a new bag, and this is one of those bags that just has so many different compartments to it. It's amazing, and it's going to have my laptop and my charger and everything in there. But I've got all sorts in there. I've got some important papers for a meeting tomorrow. I've got an external hard drive. I've got my bullet journal. This is where everything goes in. If it's not in the bullet journal, it ain't going to happen. That's work related. I've got things like a USB adapter. I've got some oud, because you got to smell good at work, haven't you? I've got my business cards. I've got so much stuff. And I've still got compartments that I haven't even used yet, about 4 or 5 compartments. Of course, I've always got a tarot deck in my work bag. Yeah, so, and then my laptop and everything like that's going to go in there. So that's my work bag. To go in the work bag, I bought one of these, an inlay. I don't know if you're still here, but I got this idea from you. I got a Dolphonix, but it's tiny. So I obviously bought the small. I thought I'd ordered the medium. But over on Inlay's channel, they've done a video about what goes in their Dolphonix. And I thought, that's a really good little organiser to keep things together, you know, that you want. So I ordered one. It had to come from America, even though it was from Amazon. It came from Amazon US. But I really wished I'd paid more attention, because I thought I was ordering a medium, and it's not really big enough for things like, I've got my Rhodia pad, that won't fit in there. And it was really expensive for a small one as well. There they are. Yes, I'm still here, Simon. I love the Dolphonix pouch. I gave my medium to a friend, but kept the small. It's way neat. Yeah, I think if, you know, if I come into a bit more money, I might upgrade to a medium size. Anyway, so in this, again, it's got loads of little, I don't think you can see, but loads of little zips and compartments and stuff, but it's really neat and handy to have. It's like a pencil case, but with extras. So I've got an eraser. Oh, I've just dropped it on the keyboard, so I hope I don't cut myself off. You never heard of Dolphonix, looks usable. Yeah, they really are. They're really great. But do check out Inlay's Inlet, because their channel, they've got a walkthrough and they've got so many cool things. So this is one of those little fold away rubbers, as we call them in the UK, erasers elsewhere. Then at the back, I've got, I love these, I can't get enough of these. So I've got a spare one of them. I've got a metal ruler, that goes in there. Oh, I love this time of year. I've got my business cards, personal business cards, rather than my professional job business cards. They're in my work bag, as you saw, although this is going in my work bag. I've got an opened one of them that I'm already partway using. And then in this bit at the front, I've got paper clips, and I'm trying to show you at the same time. I've got post-it notes in various colours. And then in the middle, you can fit quite a bit in here, and I've only put a couple of things in. I got this little case from Muji. Now, Muji left Nottingham. I don't know if Muji's gone bust, but it was a little Japanese shop where they do tiny things. And it's a little pencil case. And in that one, I've put my Twisby that I showed the other day. So that's the pen that's going to stay in my Dolphonix. And then I've got another, this is kind of like a doodle pad one, because the paper, you're not going to be able to see here, but it's art, it's like art paper. But it's really nice for, I've been doing like inks, saying what all the inks are that I've got and things like that. But it'll just be like a little scrapbook type thing to jot things down in. And even in there, there's little pockets and Velcro bits, and so it's really cool. To say it's small, I would have preferred a larger one, just because I think I've got a lot of stuff that I can put in it. So that's going to go in my work bag as well. And then I've been setting up my traveller's notebook. Wow, to say it's a Sunday, 114 people here. Hello everybody and welcome. So I've started doing my bullet journal at the front. I've set it up ready for September. And then on this bit, I've got information. That's my, I just call this a little bit of everything and a whole lot of nothing. So it's my astrological information. So my sun, my moon, my ascending, and stuff like that. I don't understand a lot of it, but hey ho. Things about pips, thoughts on spirituality, fountain pen wish list, tarot wish list. So it's got all that kind of stuff in there. Things to consider. And then just a few little things like quotes and things, and the difference between jealousy and envy. Jealousy, I don't want them to have that because I want it. Envy, I want them to have that, but I want it too. I can't remember where I heard that, but I think it was a YouTuber or on TV, and I thought, oh, I'm writing that down. I quite like that. And then it goes into, again, there's more business cards here. A few little, this is like little fold away section. And then my zip case, some old photographs, a few more of them because I use them all the time. Some money, a gratitude journal, my reflection journal, and a spare gratitude journal at the back. So that's my Midori. That's also going to go in the bag. So that's going to go in there. And then I've also got a blank one that I don't know what I'm going to do with this yet, but it's a spare one. I might just keep it for when one of them gets filled, or I might use it. And then I've also got my Filofax, and that's got all sorts of bits and bobs in it, Christmas lists, things about my salary, all sorts of stuff, movies. Oh, I watched a fantastic movie this afternoon, a section on quotes. I love quotes. Let's pick you a quote. Noliti T. Bastardes Carborandurum. Don't let the bastards grind you down. The brightness of your light exposes their shadow. Yeah, so just little things like that. Videos I've done, my top 10 RWS decks, top 10 of all time. I've got a section on tarot, numerology of the pips, cards to all sorts of different bits and bobs, and then yeah, there's all sorts in this. It's kind of like the junk one where I just put all sorts of stuff in. So I think that one's staying behind though. That's not going to go with me. Am I missing comments? Let's have a look at comments. I've lost the chat from that when I fell on the keyboard. Mo says, you're giving me heaps of good ideas. I'm getting a special jot book this week. Movie Simon, I like your recommendation. Oh, it was amazing. So last night I watched a comedy because I was feeling kind of, my fridge broke and I was feeling really down last night. So I thought I want something funny to watch. I always ask my sister for recommendations because she spends most days watching Netflix. And she said, "Oh, there's the new what's she called?" See, I'm still foggy, and that was something else. Don't know if you noticed on one of the videos the other day, I was really foggy and I was using the wrong words. And I feel very absent-minded still. Can't believe I'm going back to work tomorrow. Rebel Wilson. The new Rebel Wilson film. I think it's called Senior Year. So I watched that last night. And that was funny. And I really liked it. I really like Rebel Wilson. So I enjoyed that. But she said, I recommend that if you want, because I said I want a comedy. So she told me about that. So I watched it. And then she says, I'm watching a film called The Long Weekend. And I said, I might watch that tomorrow afternoon. So I only put it on at 2:00, knowing I was going live at 4. And I thought, have I got time to watch this? And I think it's about an hour and 35 minutes. So it's not a long film. I don't know if anybody's seen The Long Weekend, but my God, it's an amazing film. It's one of the best films I've seen in years. So much so, I'm thinking of watching it again tonight because there's certain bits I want to rewatch. You know when you watch a film and you're like, oh my goodness. And because I have ADD, I find it difficult to concentrate unless it really grabs me. And it did grab me, but not right at the beginning. So I'm kind of like thinking things back. Stephanie's purchased her first Twisby. It's an Eco. Enjoy. So has anybody seen The Long Weekend? I'm not going to give it away, but let's just say it's kind of a cross between Phenomenon, if anybody's ever seen that from the 90s with John Travolta. It's a cross between Phenomenon and Time Traveller's Wife. But that probably hasn't done it any justice. But it's brilliant. Really, really brilliant. I laughed, I cried, I didn't want it to end. And yeah, brilliant film. We'll watch it later. Thank you for recommending the Lost Weekend. I do that, rewatch films. Well, I did that when I went to see here I go. The film with Bruce Willis, I See Dead People, Sixth Sense, because I guessed it, but it took it right at the bit where Haley Joel Osment says, I see dead people. For me, with my logical brain, I just thought, well, then he's dead. This is what this film's obviously about. And I was married at the time, and I turned to Paul and I went, I just worked it out. She's like, what? And I went, he's dead. She was so angry at me. But then I had to go and buy a ticket and watch it again because I needed to see all the scenes up to that part, how everything interacted with this character being dead. I've just probably spoiled it if people have never seen Sixth Sense either. Yesterday I watched A Million Little Pieces on Netflix. It's a gripping narrative on addiction and recovery. Is that worth a watch then? Let me make a note of that. A Million Little Pieces. It might not be on the UK one because we do have different films. Simon, I've just received Ask the Witch Tarot. Really impressed with it. I'm going to edge mine in black too. I also received the book The Untethered Soul. Started really good. I read that years ago. I've still got it. It's on the bookcase in the hall. I remember seeing it on Oprah Winfrey show years ago and bought it. The 2005 or the 2021 one. It'll be 2021. It was last year. It was made. So yeah, it would be 2021. Didn't know there was two of the same film though. But yeah. The Time Traveller's Wife is one of my daughter's favourite movies. That's a beautiful film. I haven't seen it for years, but what's the one as well where everything's in reverse? That was really hard for somebody with ADD. I think I must have rewound that so many times. It was a good job I was watching it on my own. But it does everything backwards. Each scene, you have to try and remember what's happened in the scene before, because the whole thing is going backwards. Oh, I've just finished watching Stranger Things. I'm halfway through the last season that's on, season 4. But because they're so long, I'm really struggling. I think I've only watched the first 2. And I'm like, I need to continue with this. But they're like an hour and a half each. And I really struggle with that. He says, just watching an hour and a half film. Jungle Cruise, that's another one. Sandman, I started watching Sandman. Is it last weekend or long weekend? It's the long weekend. Lake House, I love Lake House, but it's so sad. Benjamin Button's another great one. Oh wow, Simon, I totally give up on a movie like that. My brain would be like, nope. Do I like horror movies? I like thrillers. I don't like blood and guts and slasher movies or anything that's about torture. I can't bear things like Saw. No. Is Sandman really scary? No, the only thing was, I watched the first episode of Sandman and I loved it. And then I watched the second and it's completely different, the second episode. So I was like, this isn't as good as the first. So it's kind of put me off watching the next episode. But I will. I might even watch one tonight. Dirty John. Dirty John, I don't know that one. If you want sad, watch The Notebook. That's another one. That's really sad. But the end scene, it's so sweet, isn't it? But can anybody remember the name of that film where everything's in reverse, each scene? I really wanted, I thought, for a DVD special, they ought to have then changed it and put them all so you can then watch it in order as well. Because it's really difficult having to remember the scene before to realise that this scene you're watching has come before that scene and each one that goes on. Psychological thrillers. Yeah, a really good one. It's an old one now. Beneath. What Lies Beneath with Harrison Ford and Michelle Pfeiffer. That's a good film. That sort of psychological, not necessarily psychological thriller, but a good thriller. I like it. The comic book which Sandman comes from has different stories each issue. Maybe they're doing that with the... Well, it's the same characters, but it's gone back into the world, the dream worlds, which is different to the first episode where he was held prisoner in Victorian England. What Lies Beneath, yes. Have you ever seen the American show The Affair? 2 lead actors are British. No, I haven't. But what I did like is it had got Joey Tribbiani, Matt LeBlanc in it, and they're in LA, and they're 2, Stephen Mangan and I can't remember her name now, but I really enjoyed that. That was a good show. They were kind of screenwriters for a sitcom, and Joey was there, and he was playing himself. He was playing Matt LeBlanc. That was good. I forgot what that's called now. Shutter Island. That Extras is the Ricky Gervais one. That's good as well. But it's kind of like that. It's kind of like Extras, but I don't think it's called Extras. But if somebody can Google it, if you look at Stephen Mangan, where he works with Matt LeBlanc, then Episodes, that's it, Episodes. I really enjoyed Episodes. So good. Yeah, it was. And fair play to Matt LeBlanc for sending himself up, because he was playing himself, but a very, not a nice version of himself. Oh, that was nice and refreshing. So what else has been happening? Well, I did it. I also brought the third one out of the candy range. So I said yesterday, oh, and I looked online, it was £10 and it's a genuine Lamy one. But that is it now. That is it for Lamy pens. I just wanted to get the 2020 special edition. I thought, what's the point of having 2 out of 3 out of the candy range? So I've got the violet, I've got the aquamarine, I've got the mango. So that's that. Hello, Tammy Pie. Nice to see you. How are you doing? I read a book whilst I was in bed, ill. I was able to read a book. I couldn't. I had the mango and violet. Did you not? Did you not want to get the aquamarine to complete the set of the special editions? Tara Witchy, I haven't watched your pen episodes. I will buy pens if I do. There's a playlist called Stationery and Pens. So I read a book. It's one of them that, you know, doesn't take long. It took just over an hour. So if you remember this book that I've spoke about many times, The Boy, the Mole, the Fox and the Horse. Absolutely, I mean, it's always got a bookmark in it because it's under where my coffee table is. It lives underneath because it's just full of little gems and words of wisdom, and it's just a gorgeous, gorgeous book. It was what's it called? I've got such brain fog today. Waterstones Book of the Year last year. And then because it was so popular, it was also turned out, even though it was their Book of the Year, the most popular book of 2021. Memento, yes, that was it. Thank you. Thank you. I love the style of those books because they're easy to read. You can dip in and out, or even though I always read them from cover to cover. The next one that I got after that, you probably remember, I've shown it before, is Big Panda and Tiny Dragon. This is just another beautiful book. Rather than handwritten, it is a typed font, but the illustrations and everything are gorgeous. And then I got Together. Together is such a gorgeous book. Very, very similar, but very few words in this. It's very much a sort of picture book. And then I saw A Cloud Where the Birds Rise. Now this is thicker. I don't know if anybody's seen this. You featured it. I have all those 3. I've featured them all on my channel. Again, it's like a handwritten version, but there's quite a lot of information in this. But this book, it is so bittersweet. So it's actually by a renowned author. Michael Harding is an Irish author, and he used to write a column for the Irish Times. And the illustration is Jacob Stack. But it's about, it's about love and loss and separation. It's about happiness and it's about pain. It's really about those polar opposites of when you love and you lose, and then you go through loss, and it's about grief and depression. But it's written so beautifully. And again, it's got beautiful illustrations. Some pages do have quite a bit of text on them. You get quite a bit sometimes. Just see if I can find a little gem. I'll not read that because that will set me off. Where are we? Nobody likes to talk about depression in real life. It's only on the radio that it sounds heroic. But it's his own thoughts and feelings about his life and his loves and his losses. A voice inside me, akin to a wise man at the back of a cave, whispered, "If you miss this moment, you will miss your life." And then it was faint, but there is a sweet feeling of happiness in the twilight. It's just really, really beautiful. So you get quite a bit of text to read, and then you turn the page and there's just a little, a little 2-line thing. Just looked up the Boy, etc. book, and now I'm crying. It's a beautiful book. When we hold each other, we hold everything. It's the ultimate reality. Everything else is delusion. Oh, that's nice as well. A stranger is always the next great possibility. Only in the entanglement with others can I be human. So yeah, it's just really, really, really nice. It's a really beautiful book. Doing nothing is still doing something. So the wisdom is in the not doing. The complete non-involvement in anything, stillness. And if that's not a sure way to induce a beautiful doze, then nothing is. And then as you get to the end, he's getting to the end of his own life. And it's poignant little things like, then everybody wonders, everybody asks, what have I done? Maybe that's the question that makes us all human. Some people come into our lives like guardians from other worlds. It's as if they were sent to watch over us, to give us some indefinable sustenance on our journey. And then little funny things is a lamppost there on the street, and it says, "I know that there are no ghosts in the modern world. I suppose it may have been electric light that finished them all off. But maybe there are angels." I imagine heaven as an act of love and faith in the absurdity of eternal life. And he isn't a believer, and that's what's really poignant about it. He says, "I long for heaven in the face of death. I long for heaven because although there is no heaven, it does me good just to long for it." Oh, look at that image. So yeah, highly recommend this book as well. A Cloud Where the Birds Rise. And they're all beautiful books. If you can get any of these, some take like 30 minutes to read, others like an hour. But A Cloud Where the Birds Rise, together, beautiful, poignant. Big Panda, Tiny Dragon, it's a story about friendships. And then The Boy, the Mole, the Fox and the Horse, one of the most beautiful books. And I've bought so many copies of this to gift to people as presents. So that's a book that I've talked about a film I've watched, talked about a book that I've read. Bless you, Simon. Hello. Is Zoroastrianism, is that you, Magus? Is that your other channel name? Wrong how you fell. Sorry, let's see what Mo's saying. Wrong how you fell and what you are thinking when feeling down is therapeutic thing to do. I recommend it to anyone. It's for you and you alone. It's good to look back on in later times. Writing things down about how you feel. Yeah. Yeah, so that's a book that I've read. A couple of things I wanted to, I may as well finish that, and there's only that tiny bit at the bottom. A couple of things I wanted to talk to you about as well, because as I've been changing my work bag over, and I was thinking about, right, what deck am I going to put into my work bag for this academic year that I'll use? And what's been in there up until now is the plastic US Games yellow box deck. And I was just going to get, what's people's thoughts on plastic decks? Because, I mean, this is a heavy deck. It's really heavy. And one of the reasons why I took it out as well. But I don't know if it's just because it's a plastic deck, but the saturation of colour in this version is really, you know, the blue is really blue. The reds, it's a really heavily saturated deck. I mean, if you're a riffle shuffler, I'd imagine and the yellows are really yellow. I mean, look at that. And sunglasses. Hard to shuffle. Jack finds it hard to connect with plastic decks. Yeah, I mean, it's RWS, so I can read with it and connect with it, but it makes for a really heavy deck. But you know, the plastic, it's going to last. I don't know how I feel about them, and I've got quite a few. I mean, I'm going to be honest. These are a nightmare. Beautiful, really beautiful. But they are so slippy. So there's plastic in this plastic, because this by Ivy Chang, I'm trying to show it where there's a shadow or so. You know, it's that one that's kind of, but if you try and shuffle this, it is so slippy. Cards spray out everywhere. And this is a different thickness. This is more like plastic money. Why have I got a shadow? I think it's just the top of my laptop. Because if I hold it up here in the light, I mean, they're really beautiful, but really slippy. And they just jump. What's that, Simon? The more you shuffle, the better it is. I have, what, for this one, I mean, this has been used quite a bit, but this one hasn't been used as much. This is the rose gold version. But I'm afraid to use them because, I mean, the backs are gorgeous. And the edging, why I've got two backs? Oh, because it's the 2 extra cards. I don't know, they're just, so there's that plastic deck. Mo's going back to bed when finished here. I won't be on too much longer, Mo. I've only come on for an hour or so. Marsha said yes. Oh, for that deck. I think my favourite, oh, see. Did you see that? They've actually slid outside the box and gone on the floor, so I'm going to have to be careful I don't wheel over them now. Oh my goodness. That was like a bank teller in where all the notes come out. Why did it do that? Because I didn't put the book on top. If I put the book on top, that will keep them in. Famous last words. This is a plastic deck, which is old school tarot. There's a new version of this coming out, by the way. Now this one is it is pocket size, and I think the new version is full tarot size. I don't know if it's going to I don't know if it's going to be plastic or not. I love the edging on this. In fact, I really like this deck, but this isn't slippy. This is a really nice, really gorgeous deck. Look at that. I love it. And there's a Pamela Coleman Smith card as well. No dumping. No dumping. Yes, do it for science. What? I can't see what it was that you're talking about. So this is old school, and it's kind of like, it reminds me of Looney Tunes type, but it's got like a vintage feel to them, and it's so cute. But it's very RWS, as you can see. It's done by Destiny. Love their decks. There is a Happy Squirrel card, and as I said, the Pamela Coleman Smith card. But I love the size of it, and this is probably the nicest gilding I think I've ever seen on a deck. It's really nice. It doesn't come off, and it's not very often you see gilding on plastic decks. But this one, it's not slippy. It's got a nice feel to it. It's not too heavy. Gorgeous, gorgeous little deck. They are going to send me their new version, which is a full size one, but I think this one will still be my favourite because it's just a nice size. So that's plastic. I've also got Deck of the Bastard, which is a plastic deck. And this is gorgeous. And it's plastic, but it's not, it's shuffled beautifully. It's not slippy at all. Really, really gorgeous. Ooh. So I'm in two minds because some plastic decks I really like Old School and Deck of the Bastard. But then this, I'm glad I got it because it was RWS and it was the first on plastic, but the colours are just really gaudy. Really, really gaudy. And it weighs a ton. Where did you get your Old School tarot from? From Destiny. They're in Thailand. Simon, dropping a plastic deck in water for science. Oh yeah. Well, Marsha, Musings by Marsha, takes hers to the beach because she, you know, does her readings on the beach. Doesn't matter if they get wet. You know, so that's, yeah, you can read them in the bath. In the sauna, wherever you want. It's not going to get wet. Isn't the Neo Rider plastic too? That's what I was showing. That's the slippy one that I was showing Caroline, the Neo Rider, and the rose petal or rose pink or whatever it's called, is also. Gosh, 127 people. Wow, who would have known Sunday would be so popular? I also have some transparent decks, also plastic. Yes, I've got the transparent tarot and oracle. I've got a couple. There's the one that was the one where you just have one card and they all match up. And then there's the one that's done by Emily Cardin. So there's two transparent tarots, isn't there? I've got both. Simon and everyone have to run some errands. Okay, well, thank you for being here. Someone asked earlier your recommendations for the best 1909 Pam reproduction deck. I'm interested too in the best RWS for study purpose. Layla, it hasn't happened yet, but it's about to. I don't know if I can say too much yet, but talking about of 1909s, I've been playing with that one today. That was synchronicity, wasn't it? And I've just asked, what do people think about plastic decks? What do people think about circular decks? I've got both versions of Mother Piece, you know, the standard size and the mini. I've got both versions of Circle of Life, first edition, second edition. Don't tend to use them. But this one, the 1909, which isn't the 1909, by the way, just saying, it's not the 1909. I really enjoy working with this. The only thing about this deck is there's additional artwork added to get the extra, to fit the diameters, so that you do get extra artwork. A bit like, Kim likes most round decks, a bit like the Borderless Centennial. The Borderless Centennial added extra artwork, replicating, I can say it, you're there! I thought to myself, you know, I'll say that, and then if Conrad's here, I will mention it, because he'll say, and there you are, lurking. Yes, so, the best 1909. Some exciting news. So Conrad has given me permission to say, Conrad for, gosh, how many months? Maybe the best part of 6 months, has been talking with Kenji, who owns a lot of the PAMAs, PAMBs, PAMC, PAMD, and also, I want to say Sasha, and it's not Sasha. What is her name? Saskia Jensen, who has the 1909, and they are going to collaborate. And Conrad is the creator of the CS Tarot, Pam's Old deck, all those fabulous decks, and even the Hermit's Hybrid, can't forget that deck. And Conrad has done a lot of work on restoring the 1909, the PAM-A, the PAM-B, the PAM-C, and the PAM-D. And both Kenji and Saskia are really impressed with what he's done, that they've given permission for the whole set to be released. So, yeah, I'm really excited about it. I've known for a few weeks and I haven't said anything, and I wouldn't have said anything, but Conrad's here and he's just said you can mention it. So there have been other versions of 1909 out there, but it takes somebody who's actually got an original copy in their hands to say how close it is to the original. And Saskia's actually said that Conrad's is the best that she has seen. So yeah, kudos to Conrad, because, you know, he does put a lot of, it's not about just taking scans, and, you know, he does a lot of work. He spends hours meticulously. I won't have the patience for what Conrad does to create the decks that he does. So I'm thrilled that finally, we're going to be able to get really good quality reproductions of the 1909, the PAM-A, B, C, and D. So those 5 decks coming together. So, right, so there'll be MPC by the end of next week. So do check them out. So yeah, I'm really excited by that. Everybody's saying next week. Wow, how exciting! Can't wait to see. Hold on, let's just see something there. Fantastic, actually, it's that everybody is really pleased. As you can see, Conrad, there's lots of positive response. I need to get a CS deck and couldn't decide which is my favourite. Where, when, and how to get it. MPC end of next week. I was just on Conrad's store last night on MPC, may drop a bit on them. Can't wait to see this new collab. Saw the review on here. of the last deck and was so impressed by the creation. Yeah, I mean, I've loved all versions of the CS Tarot, but the latest one as well is really, really nice. And I just love Pam's old deck. That is a great, it's my favourite vintage version. It's not oversaturated. It's not that vintage and dirty and grungy looking that you can't see, like that some that have been reproduced in the past. And those who don't like, you know, the gaudy yellows and blues and everything, then something like Pam's old deck is fantastic because it's muted right down. Sandra has 2 sets of CS Tarot. What's it called again, the names of the deck? So I think they'll just be referred to as the 1909, which is the first ever RWS deck that came out obviously in 1909 by Pamela Colman-Smith and Arthur Edward Waite. Golden Dawn, from the Golden Dawn. And then a few months later, going into 1910, the 1909 stopped and we had the Pam A, which is, in my opinion, the quintessential deck. That's the one I really like. And then we have the B, C and D, but they're not all in that order. I have got a video up. If you put into YouTube Pam A, B, C and D, I talk about the timeline of where the decks, and there's 2 that came out at the same time, but one went on a little bit longer than the other one. I adore the colours in the CS. Okay, so it's just going to be called 1909 Tarot. I imagine so. Conrad's here if we want to ask him, but I think it will just be called the 1909, and then there'll be the Pam A, B, C and D. June says, hello June, glad I could get here even though it's late. Sorry to hear about your journey with your appliances. Glad you've got it settled with some good help. My friend has actually been a godsend. I don't know what I'd have done in the last 24 hours without that help and support. He dropped everything, helped me get the old one out, helped me get the new one in, just gave up his time, didn't even bat an eyelid, just did it. Do you know what I mean? As well as, you know, gifted me a fridge from one of his properties. So what is it they say in It's a Wonderful Life? No man is a failure who has friends. And it's very true. I feel very blessed. Conrad Stein, will it just be called... Conrad, are you still here? Violet is just asking what it's actually going to be called. But do you know what? If you go onto NPC and type in CS Tarot, put a dot between the C and after the S, C.S.Tarot, it will take you to Conrad's store. And if you favourite that store, once they're uploaded at the end of next week, you'll see them all appear anyway. Bit of a sidetrack. Have you heard that Rachel is poorly in ICU? I've read somewhere today. Yes, Gentle Spirit Realm. We mentioned Rachel last week, and I talked a little bit about Rachel and, you know, sending her positive vibes. I saw in the Hermit's Cave Facebook group this morning that she's in ICU, and, you know, prayers and positive energy was being requested for Rachel. So, of course, I sent some distance Reiki. I urge anybody who can, you know, and believes in the power of prayer, positive thoughts, energy, distance healing, whatever, you know, if you can send that to Rachel, because, gosh, we don't half love her in our tarot community, and we want her with us as long as possible, because she's an amazing lady. She's an inspiration. And I read today, again, somebody posted it in the Hermit's Cave, that she was the author of the first ever DC Comics trans superhero. And I wasn't aware of that back in the 70s. So, yeah, 90s, sorry. Yeah, 90s. So, hi everyone. I'll drop Simon an email with all the details in the next few days. And if you're happy for me, Conrad, to share in the Hermit's Cave Facebook group, then I will. and we'll put links and everything like that. So the Hermit's Cave Facebook group is always a continuation of discussion that we have on the channel. So we've been discussing it today. So if Conrad's happy with that, all the information about the 1909, the PAM A, B, C and D, we'll pop it into the Hermit's Cave Facebook group, and you'll get all the information when it becomes available. Also, if you're not in the Hermit's Cave Facebook group, tomorrow we're starting the 78 cards again. This week we're on the King of Pentacles. It's been 78 weeks, can you believe it? And I was going to end it, but I did a poll and 78% of people wanted to go around again. And I've worked out there's actually over 1,000 new members in the Hermit's Cave Facebook group over the last 78 weeks. We're coming up to just over 4,500 members now in there. So if you're not in and you want to be in from the beginning, we share our favourite card from a deck, and we say what the deck is. But tomorrow will be the full week, hashtag the full week, and we're starting again for the next 78 weeks. So I agree, Kat. I agree. It is hard navigating the NPC site. I think they really need to look at that, because I find it such a struggle to find things on there sometimes. I've got away now because I could never find Conrad, but I knew that if I put in CS Tarot in a certain way, it would eventually take me to his shop. If any mods, because only mods can post links, or do have NPC open or on Conrad's shop and can drop a link into the chat, then please do. That would be great. Sending love, blessings and prayers to Rachel Pollock. Yeah, if we could all do that, that would be, I'm sure, she'd appreciate our positivity right now. Think of all the new decks that people have since 78 weeks ago. Yes, that's true as well. That's really true. And how many decks that we don't even know exist yet that we'll be posting by the time it gets to, I don't know, the Moon card, or I don't know, Six of Cups or whatever. So I've got something in my eye. That's why I'm doing this a lot. Looking forward to the next round of 78. See if there's anything else. I missed any comments. I think I've caught up. Is there an update about Poppy Palin's Wake in the Wild? I'm not sure if that will happen, but the last I heard was when my contact at Red Feather at Schiffer said we are planning on doing something to honour Poppy in the coming months. So that will be interesting to see what they can do. Simon, can there be a limit to the number of decks per post? No, not at all. Oh, you want there to be. I get so overwhelmed and get intimidated about posting mine when others post so many at a time because I might post duplicates. It'll be really hard to police it, Patrice. I don't know how we would be able to police it. And I don't really want to say to somebody, oh, you've posted too many images there. But if there's duplications, I wouldn't worry. What I find interesting is not necessarily seeing just all the different ones. I like to see why that person may have chose that. So if I see that you've posted, I don't know, the Fool from the Mary L, but somebody else has posted the Fool from the Mary L, for me that's okay, because I think, oh, that's interesting that Patrice, really likes the Fool from the Mary L. So yeah, I I don't know how, I don't think we could say to people, you know, that's the limit. I'll not worry about duplication. No, don't worry about duplication. I've duplicated before. I've posted mine, and then I've looked a few days later and I've seen somebody else has done it. Don't know who did it first or whatever, but I just think, oh, they like that card as well. Is there a place for Americans to get exclusively British decks? Any recommendations? You could go to UK Etsy, maybe some there. Or you could even try Little Red Tarot to see if they list in particular British decks. When I'm scrolling through, I honestly pay way more attention to the post with just a single card. Sometimes I like to see it where somebody's given different variations. So I think it might be Bill, Caveman Tarot, who will do like 6 different versions of an RWS. So we might say, here's the full card, and this is from Universal weight and Radiant weight, you know, and all the different ones, the Dirty Pan, and he'll put them so that you see the different colour variations, things like that. I like to see that. I'm thinking of posting has a special resonance for me that I was planning to share. Yeah, Layla, that's exactly the way I look at it. I look at it and I think, oh, you know, Layla likes that version. I'd be interested in the reasons members chose a particular card. Yeah. And sometimes it's difficult. I always think of mine on a Sunday, like today. I'll sit and I'll think, right, what's going to be my card for tomorrow? Because I get up really early, go to work, so I tend to schedule mine. But when you've got over 700 decks, it's hard to think of every version of the Fool that you've got. So I tend to think of ones that just stick in my mind. And I think, you know, I might think, did the Anna Kay Fool have a really interesting one? I seem to remember. Or, you know, the Druid Craft or whatever. And I'll go and have a look, and usually that's the way I kind of do it. I'm not bothered at all by multi-cards. I just usually don't click through all the pips. I'm sure some folks love those, yeah. All the tarot is fine with me, says Kim. Forever Whereafter. You said that's Conrad's store, but no link has come through. But if you're not a mod, I can make you a mod. No, I can't, can I? Because I'm on StreamYard. I don't think I can do it through StreamYard. I'll try. No. I don't want to put user in timeout or block you. You'd think that StreamYard would let you do that, wouldn't you? Help people to be mods. But yeah, the link won't show unless you're a moderator. Okay, it's 5:20, so I'm going to pull a card. I've got a deck right in front of me, so move that. We'll use a circular one, that might be fun. So let's think about a card to help us for the week ahead. A card for the collective. Copy and paste only. I typed CS Tarot and found it, but can't make it a favourite. Oh. Okay. Oops, nearly had a jumper then. They're quite difficult. Circular decks are quite difficult for overhand shuffling as well. Oh, let's go with that. Let's go with that. Okay. Our message for the week ahead. I think we might find that we're running away from something where we actually need to face the music and take some ownership. That's always a bitter pill to swallow, isn't it? You know, facing the music, taking ownership for something that we've tried to avoid doing for the longest time. We've tried to run away from it, turn our back on it, not think about it, not let it rent space in our heads. But it will keep chipping away. It will get in there. This is the swords. This is, you know, what's happening in here. So to free ourselves, to totally free ourselves, is to take ownership. Well, firstly, you know, bring it to the foreground, study it. What is it that I've actually need to be accountable for? What is it that, you know, I've been avoiding for the longest time? Because it's causing me anxiety, it's causing me a little bit of stress, it's making me overthink things. I need to let it go. So face the music, take ownership. Once we take ownership for something, you know, if we've got to apologise to someone, if we've got to make that difficult call, if we've got to say sorry and you know, this won't happen again, or, you know, maybe they're in the wrong too. And that's why you've been sort of like, well, actually, you know, they've got their part to play. Forget that. You know, we are not that person. All we can control is our own attitudes and behaviours. So take ownership for what's ours, make it right, and free ourselves from that burden, that overthinking, those thoughts, and go through your week lighter and freer, knowing that, you know, you face the music. All right, thank you everybody. It's been a lovely Sunday catch up. Really nice to see everybody here. I hope you all have a really blessed week. Have a good day, first day back at work. I'm actually, because I love my job so much, I'm actually quite looking forward to going back to work. I'm excited about, you know, the start of the academic year. Why is the magician out? Did I shuffle the deck without the magician? Or did it just jump out when the other one jumped out? Well, if it did, then we need to manifest that too. Bring it into fruition, face it. Yeah, so thank you for being here. It's been lovely to have a catch up with you. I really missed you yesterday, and I thought I'm not going to go a whole week not touching base with my community. So thank you for your ongoing support. As always, it means the world. And I will be back next week. Might have a video to do in the week, although first week back at work may be a little bit hectic, so do bear with just in case that's not the case. But yeah, I should be back in the week at some point. Have a fantastic week, everybody. Enjoy what's left of your weekend. Until next time, go in peace. Namaste and blessed be.